Last night I had a dream, a dream where I was still conscious. I was falling asleep, and as I was falling asleep, the dream was coming before I was in under. Kind of like a waking dream, but shortly thereafter then you're asleep. And the dream didn't continue. It was almost like one of these portal dreams that you enter in through that, and then you fall asleep and you go through all the phases of sleep. Anyways, I was just listening to some of probably my favorite artists in the world, Fia Forstrom. Such an inspiration for my own music and desire for creating music that can be sung as a chance to connect with the water and the land and the moon, and music that can be sung in circles easily or with another person. I was listening to her just a moment ago, and I was looking out the window, and a bluebird. I don't often see bluebirds. They're one of my favorite birds, and I used to live in a bluebird bus in a renovated tiny home Bluebird. And I was actually thinking about timing. I was thinking about 2 years ago, when were some of the last times I was in that home, that tiny home. And so it's very odd that the bluebird just landed on the stone wall out in front of me, out through the window. But that bluebird, not only was it coinciding with what I was thinking about the bluebird, like a Bluebird international school bus, just to be clear. And so it connected with what I was already thinking. And when I saw it, it connected me back with my waking dream last night. Excuse me. And in the waking dream, I remember this, my eyes closed, just this dark valley came into my vision. And it wasn't just a black straight line, it was black, and it had kind of like soft tendrils or veins coming off the side. Excuse me, I'm still getting over some type of bronchitis. And it started to slowly take shape of like, again, all black and maybe brown around the edges, like really dark brown. It started to take shape into the form of what I knew to be a woman, but very vaguely. And the head became clear at the top, and it opened its mouth. Again, all of this is just blackness. And so it was more a spirit formation than it was an actual visual. And it opened its mouth and it reached out into the world, into the earth, and it put a bluebird in its mouth. And I was horrified. I was like, first of all, this is very dark, and it's very kind of like ominous and like scary. I'm not scared, but it's serious. The image and the character of this object that was forming was just very kind of like almost neutral, not like good or evil. So it put the bluebird in its mouth, and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of getting a little bit scary, like eating a bluebird. They're my favorite bird, and it's so beautiful. But it put the bluebird in its mouth, and just moments later, what came up out of this black crevice long thing was water. And just this like flow, like a fountain just started flowing out of her mouth and filling this whole vein, and like filling all around it with blue, like bluebird water, like it was the bluebird. And then that blue came out of her, and I guess, that black it filled out to almost be if that was like a Ria, like this is now a drowned river valley. And then when I saw the Bluebird just moments ago, I realized that I'm connecting with the earth in a new way, and connecting with an appreciation for earth, specifically underwater, the earth that's underneath rivers. And the Bluebird is like, has that beautiful blue and then that brown underbelly and then a little bit of white. And I was just like, wow, the Bluebird is the symbol of water, earth, inner light. And so, I love bluebirds, but now bluebirds have an even deeper meaning for me, and the act of taking in a bluebird and like swallowing it, or putting it, letting it come down into your heart and your belly, and then it birthing out of you, the triune alliance, or the triple goddess, the water, the land, and the inner light, or the power within the land. I'm using these concepts, I'm using these concepts loosely, but they are related, whether it's the maiden mother crone, the triple goddess, or it's the triune alliance of the fae, the animal, the human, the water, the land, and the inner light, or the power. So that's my dream about the Bluebird, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it might connect with you. And I hope that, even if it's just a handful of you, that other people will share this meaning with me, that next time you see a bluebird, you'll think of the triple power of water, land, and inner light, and the filling of this realm. From the deep black voids, when the Bluebird flew in, there was a filling of this triple power. So take that for whatever it is. Thanks for listening, and go find yourself a sweet little bluebird. Bye.